Right then, guys, welcome into the US session. A little bit off on my timing there, aren't I? Enjoying the tunes, checking out some Ethereum, seeing if it's going to pull back. Right, let's jump in. Yo, what's up, Sin? What's up, Alexi? What's up, Max? Internet friends. Yeah, let's jump in then. Yeah, a few things to look at, obviously. Brilliant week last week. We'll have a quick review of where we've come from and where we're potentially going. Okay. I think we all know what happened last week. We had some nice short trades last week that we're all eyeing. We're eyeing pullbacks. And then we came into those low 100k price levels and had a mega bounce, didn't we? Absolute V-shaped recovery on BTC. So really well done. I know a few of the guys in the socials were trading that 100k level down there. I'm greedy. I would have liked a little bit lower. As a mercenary trade, I don't really care where price goes, but really well done for anyone that was longing down in the 100Ks. We can go and have a quick look at that, but we have been there already, so we'll assess where we can potentially go as well. What's up, brother Mike? Okay, so yeah, just looking at the multiverse at the minute, Soy Boy Sol is not really particularly doing its own thing at the minute. ETH is, but it's just hitting a little bit of a supply, and we've got these big order blocks down in defense here, so actually a little bit of confluence with some TA levels as well. So this is a nice scalp short, I think, on ETH. Certainly I would obviously suggest favoring longs because the price action has been strong, but if you're a little bit of a sharpshooting scalper, maybe you get a little bit of a Tuesday reversal after a little bit of a Monday high has been put in. Monday high, Monday low, or whatever. I'm not sure if we go and visit Monday lows, but we can have a look at that with the price action being so strong. So yeah, keep an eye on ETH. I'd like it to come down. Thank you very much. Come down to some nice levels down here. That would make for good trading. But do we get that? Not sure. The price action has been very bullish. I'm not thinking we absolutely bar right back down. But as always, I'm not thinking that. Doesn't mean we can't do that, okay? And Teo, BitTenza, absolute mega pint longs from Sunday. Nice chilled Sunday with a glass of vino. Long your longs, fire and forget trades. TP some of that today as well, because that's a 48-hour perps trade. For me personally, don't really like holding perps trades for too long. As a mercenary. Right, so let's have a look then. Yeah, so first and foremost, I just want to point this out to you on ETH. ETH has got some really nice order blocks down here that we've just seen on the multiverse view. So if we can get down here, that would be very nice. Thank you very much. I think it's a very valid, cheeky little day trade short here as well. And I would keep it very scalpy, to be honest. You don't want to be looking for much here. You've got these lows here. Maybe it just comes down to their 265 or something like that. But you're certainly in quite a bit of supply. If you can execute your trades up here, stops over the biggest order blocks, it's very valid, you know? And if you start to drop, just tighten that risk up, okay? So let's have a look. We'll mainly go through BTC first. I'll keep an eye on the chat as well. Let me go to a 15-minute basis just so we can have a good look at what each exchange is doing. We'll do the usual stuff to build our recipe, shall we? Okay, we'll have a look at the order books. We'll have a quick look at volume. I think volume will be a little bit blown to bits from the last 24 hours, to be honest. We're certainly going to have open interest rises up here as well. But again, when you get these big open interest rises, it's to be expected, okay? Open interest rises and drops are not trade entry stuff, okay? Your bid ask is, but we can certainly go and have a look at that and see what we are getting. What we're saying, Vendetta 259, what's up? Some of these trades like tier, do you share these in the alpha group to learn from? Yes, Max will tell you all about that trade that I took on Teo. Yeah, I give those guys my entries, where I'm looking for. Don't get me wrong, it's not a signals group. All right, it's not a signals group. It's more just for sharing a little bit more alpha rather than in some of the main bigger public groups. You know, it's a little bit more professional, shall I say, maybe. maybe, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, you know, not all the time, now and again, you know, and I don't. Yeah, it's not Signal Group. You know, I don't share all trades anyway. But I think Max, who's in the chat, will testify that, you know, now and again, I think it was, what was it the other week, Max? Was it Maker? We've had a few, haven't we? TRB the other week, Maker. Bitcoin, we're obviously on top of that. We all know what's going on with Bitcoin anyway, or we should do. Teo from Sunday, for instance, was... You're in a demand zone. I like this order block down here. That's what I'm aiming for entry. What's up, High Farm? What are we farming this week? And I'll say I was honest with Max and the lads in that private group that I think I got a little bit lucky on my entry on that one, because my entry was a sniper shot on Teo. And I actually only, because it was a Sunday, it wasn't a big trade, wasn't that bothered. And I only had one limit order down there for entry, and it hit it, and it just reversed straight away. So a little bit of luck in there as well. You know, a little bit of you're coming into demand. I'm going to stick a limit order down there. I don't want to grid a load of limit orders, but I'll just stick one down there. If it gets taken, then away we go. But we can have a look at that together. Let's have a look at, yeah, I mean, if you want me to go into a little bit more detail on that, I certainly can do. I'm happy to. ETC2, yeah, ETC was nice. I traded ETC last week, and then it came down to that demand zone again this week, and it absolutely had it had a good 7 or 8% pump, and I would call that a pump on a shitbag coin like ETC. You know, if you can get eight former MI6 agent, yeah. If you can get 7-8% out of something like ETC, you're doing really well, because those coins are not moving too well. They're certainly not moving as well as BTC. They're not moving as well as ETH. They're not moving as well as Sol. You know, and some of the other coins, they're just not hype, obviously, you know, for instance. And if anyone's listening, I'm sure we've been asked, I'm sure the guys, Shaquille and DK, I'm sure they will get other tokens and assets in the console as quick as possible. If Hype has some good exchange data, for instance, if it's on Binance Spot, I've not looked for a bit, you guys tell me if it is. If it's on Binance Spot, if it's on Binance Perps, then we will get good data for stuff like Hype, all right, for the order books. If it's not on those exchanges and we don't get good data, right, what's the point? There's no point in the lads adding it in, to be honest, is there? Yet. Yeah, I would say, you know, you may as well just do your classic TA on it, you know. So it's not on Binance. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, okay. Cheers, Vendetta. Yeah, so that's a little bit of reasoning from my point of view. The gents, you know, in the team, might tell you otherwise. But if you haven't got good order book data for it, where's our edge? You know, just no point, is there? Binance Perp already. Okay, so we'll have some data from that, certainly, yeah. I think a lot of the thing is, I mean, Hype is obviously going to be around for a while, isn't it? You know, but I think in the meme coin mania, a lot of consoles rushed to put these meme coins in because there was demand for people to trade them, this, that, and the other. And yeah, I don't know. It's just an absolute bag of shit now, aren't they? 99% of them, and you know, the order books have died of death. So yeah, if you just look that up, yeah, maybe it's on Perps then. Yeah, nice. Right, so let's go over some BTC stuff, see if we can build a recipe. Look, we all know where we've come from and where we are going, don't we? So a quick review of where we've come from. We absolutely V-shaped up. I think we all know that, don't we? And then we've started reclaiming some zones. In the weekend, I was still very much of the opinion, just to give you a little backstory of what I was thinking entering the weekend, I was still very much of the opinion that leading into the weekend, we may have just been back testing some classic levels, you know, back up to 105, take that liquidity and then reverse. Because as you can see, the order book depth was very, very negative. Nothing on Perps. They even pulled that bid. You've actually got some selling there. Very, very negative. Price just continued to grind up and into the weekend. So leading into Sunday, I was still of the same opinion. I actually had some offers floating a little bit higher up, near just under 107, I think. And then on Sunday, I thought, okay, not sure about that. The depth's coming back. Open interest is very, very low. I don't just want limit offers in, even though you can put a hard stop in, obviously. I don't just want limit offers in on a Sunday night when I'm going to bed. I'd rather just chill and wake up in the morning and see what we get. Anyway, so a little bit of choppiness in here, few little liquidation bubbles on either side here. It doesn't take much to liquidate people on a low volume weekend, you know. And then what I said to the guys in the Discord was, if you are going to just pin price here and move up, it will be obvious because the bid will get mega aggressive under price. Wake up Monday morning, 6 a.m. my time, what are you seeing? Absolute mega aggressive bid under price. As we then start to float up a little bit, the depth of book just gets even stronger, as you can see here. So I think yesterday it was a little bit of a no-brainer, to be honest, that we were going to float up. How far we float up is anyone's guess, you know. We don't know. As the old, what's his name, John Rambo, the trader, used to say, we don't know where the comet's going. All we can do is follow the tail of the comet, you know. So that's what we do as traders. We look at the data and we follow what we are seeing with risk reward and our plan in place, you know. And here we are now. So look, I think that was a nice start to Monday. We still do have some nice depth of book. Okay, 450 million at the minute. That will grow if we come down and people are willing to bid. But the main depth of book is actually 2.5 to 5% away now. Okay, you can just take a measurement there, and that's what we're talking about. Nearest the 106 level. So I think that'd be very nice to come down and test down there if we can get it. Okay, open interest a little bit in the middle. Other exchanges, I don't think you're going to see too much from Spot here. Spot really bid that 100k level. Well, I say they really bid. It just got so defended, didn't it? Lack of selling, liquidation, almost mechanical bounce up. Still lack of selling, and then almost people saying, okay, well, we'll just market bid this up. And it's a real slow grind, and that's where you came from. And, you know, you guys might have known from last week, I'd have loved to tick under 100k. You know, you always want value, don't you? But you get what you're given. And if you get the bounce and then you're holding price levels, then you've just got to accept what you are given. But right here, right now, yeah, not bad. So I don't think you're going to see much spot bid here. Okay, I'm not going to call for a BART pattern right back down to Monday's lows yet. We'll just follow the data as we go. But what has to be said is spot market is just a little bit negative overall here. Coinbase Pro, they've got some selling here. Someone's left that, obviously, that 100k level there anyway, that order block there. Other exchanges, not much to say really. Kraken have been doing a little bit of selling, but their main offers are higher there at 113, 114. I don't think you're going to get there in one clip. These offers can hang around here for a weeks on end, static orders like that. If we look at CoinM, they're still very bid, very kind of similar signatures to Binance Perps, and I think these guys are obviously the ones that you're going to have to keep an eye on. Binance Perps USDT, they're going to be the ones that we really need to keep an eye on, I would say. All right, guys, so look, that is the order books. Yesterday was brilliant. Today's a little bit Tuesday. Do we put in a tiny little bit of a range here, chop a few people up that have just along the top up here? Okay, it's kind of always what I expect after, you know, Mondays have been really good trading days, and then your best opportunity on Tuesday or Wednesday, and it can take 24, 48 hours because we all know that BTC is a slow mover, is generally to come and attack the Monday lows or go up and attack the Monday highs first. Okay, so just consider that. Get your classic TA levels and such open, and have a look at what you are looking for, a plan in place, so to speak. I think coming off the back of yesterday and today, I think it was certainly a little bit of a good take profit day today if you just derivatives trading. Okay, secure some of them profits and then have a look at what you want to see next. Right, volume, I don't think I'm going to see much. CVDs are coming down. Yep, CVDs are coming down. PEP CVDs coming down. What do we see in Volume King? I'm not going to bore everyone with this. Go check the playlist. on Volume King if you want it, but you've just got the classic signature of the high LS ratio, high open interest, and the funding has ticked up a little bit as well. Okay, so I'm up for a little bit of a downwards move. Posted for the guys in the private Discord that I've got a little scalp short on ETH. Not really trading too much. I don't like to press too many buttons in this kind of choppy price action after we've had good moves in a good couple of days. You know, you just want to secure them profits and then plan for the next move. But yeah, CVD is coming down slightly. Won't surprise me if retail longs should start to pile in here, getting all excitable, and that will give us some extra downside potentially. Just wanted to show you quickly Liquidity King, and then we'll have a look at some other stuff. So Liquidity King obviously came right down, okay, from this down move that we've had last week. So that was nice. We've got a really nice flush on Liquidity King. Then with this V-shape push back up, it's come down even further, right? Why is that? Well, it's just knocking the short side contracts out the book as well. All I'm going to say on this now is the more this comes down, the healthier the price action is going to be for more upside, I would think. Okay, okay. Open interest, not too bad. Spot order books got absolutely flushed. It might be the case that spot order books, I need to change this white parameter there up to that 1.2 billion. Okay, because the last couple of weeks, that seems to be a little bit of a bottom area there, okay? But just wanted to show you that, just wanted to point out that, yes, we've had a flush here. Perps market, spot market, open interest came right down on that flush. And then what we did is we knocked all the short side contracts out as well, and we've cleared some of the books again. So it's all looking very nice, very constructive. I think it's very, very good trading environment. I think the order flow and the order books on ETH, BTC, Sol, Teo, even stuff like ENA, ETC's been a nice one. We'll have a look at those in a second. The order books have been absolutely brilliant, and I do have to say, I still am ignoring probably 98% of alts because their order books are shit. They're doing shit volume, so they don't move very well. There's just no point in trading. And I'm talking about derivatives, obviously not something that is a very good project and you may get in that spot and hold it on your portfolio, you know? So let's have a look at what's going on in the chat. Scalp ready, LS ratio 0.35 there for 65%. And next short 65%. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're on the right side of things. Yeah, I don't know. At the all-time high, we had LS ratio of 0.3, 70%. Oh, really? Yeah, so look, I mean, yeah, summary for me is I think we're going to attack the all-time high again. I do. I think we're going to attack the all-time high again. Depth of book is back. This is very indicative of a trending market again. So let's bring it down. Let's see if we can get some of that bid tighter under price, and then we'll go from there. I think that'd be really, really nice. But yeah, I would, after moves like this, I would concentrate on the bid ask. To be honest, it's not as if you're grinding down into some demand and building some bullish divergences with low open interest or something like that, you know. We need to we know where we are price wise. We just need to concentrate on the bid ask, I would think. That would be 70% of volume, right? And not number. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure. Not sure. It depends whether you're looking at totals or whatever. And make sure you look at Binance LS ratio as well. I don't think the aggregation works because I don't think we get the full data from all the exchanges. So whenever you're looking at LS ratio, and I know Bybit won't provide it, the cheeky fuckers, they just won't. Just purely look at Binance. Just worry about Binance. It would be great if Bybit gave us all the data as well, but unfortunately they don't. Right, so that's our books. I'd like us to come down a little bit. I think ETH is nice one, ETH. Thank you very much. Thank you. I think ETH was a nice day trade scalpy short. A little bit lower if we can get it, because basically we are looking at some of these perps levels down here. Yeah. we can look at a couple of others as well, but that's BTC and ETH. So let's have a look at those then, and let's have a look at a couple of TA levels, and then we can have a look at some alts. We can have a look at a few other things in the order books and the console as well. We can go over the screener. All right, we'll have a look at the screen and check out, see if anything's happening. And then if you guys have got any alts that you need us to look at, we can have a look at those as well. Comp 14% up, you twat. I was looking at comp here. I missed it, and because I'm so stubborn, I'm not chasing it. It can piss off, to be honest. I'm not into trading. I'm not into chasing. If I'm not in there, I'm not playing. In fact, I might even delete it off my watch list because I'm that pissed off at it. I'm only joking. Right, let's have a look. Let's just have a quick look at some what's up swaps, TA levels. Right, so ETH. Something I just want to point out to ETH. So, very valid, quick day trade, scalpy short here. I do think big 1 hour order block, double band spot supply, perp selling into ETH there as well. So very, very valid. Where do we want ETH? ETH would be nice if we can come and back test this 2630 zone in and around here. Why is that? Let me just show you this on ETH, and then we'll have a quick look at big boy BTC as well. Right, so a couple of quick tier levels. I can have a look at other alts if you want, but really I want to concentrate on the bid ask in the trader console today, to be honest, because I think that's going to be very important for us once again, like it was last week when we hit that supply zone last week. Okay, so ETH, up only, range, 1, 2, 3, 4 failures of these highs. One bit of an inverse head and shoulders there, isn't there? 1, 2, 3, 4 failures of the range lows as well. So ETH is getting to a point, right? So forget that everyone's bullish on ETH. I don't know why. I keep saying this. I hope ETH does well. But ETH is getting to the point now where I think it's going to come to a conclusion, right? So imagine I know nothing about this chart, right? You could even invert this. Right, you could even invert this, right? It doesn't matter. Just imagine I know nothing about this chart. I think ETH is coming to the conclusion of its next expansion here soon. Okay, why do I think that? You've had 4 hits to the upside of this range. You've had 4 hits to the low side, the value area low of this range. We started off the week in the lows of the range, just under the point of control there. Weekly open, monthly open there. Oops, I've called that value area high there. Value area low. There we go. Okay. And generally, if you are trading a range 3 times, you're lucky to get 3 good reactions off a range. So you might short that, you might short that, you might short that. You wouldn't then short a 4th hit, and we can already see here we've now broken up and got a good expansion and a higher high on a 4-hour basis, right? So if we are lucky, right, and we can see the demand in ETH, in the perps market, it'd be good if we see some big spot bid come in as well. Where do we want to look? Okay, we want to be in and around here, don't we? Okay, why do we want to be in and around there? Really, really easy. So I'm sorry for the OG guys, but just for, anyone that's new or anything. Okay, so resistance, 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 break once again. You don't want to fail this zone again. Okay, you want that now to become support. You want a resistance to support flip on this level. If you don't, it can eat shit and it's going to 0, and Vitalik's going to have to get his bell end out again to get any rise in the price action. But other than that, ETH is looking good. Nice range up, hold this level. So you're looking at the 2630 level, yeah? So 2630 on ETH. You want to hold that zone. Let's go and have a look at that in the order flow. So 2630 on ETH, yeah? So you want to come down into this zone, okay? So you've got a slight spot bid, slight, not much, here, 2615. Open interest a little bit high, so you want to bring the open interest down if we can, okay? And then if we go to the perps market, where is that bid coming in? 2613, 2620. So in and around this zone, but if you go to a 5-minute chart, it looks a lot lighter, okay? So you want to be playing ETH down here for that resistance to support flip, anywhere in and around here, okay? So I'm in favor of dropping some limits in there, Okay, if price action gets really, really violent, depending on your broker, it might just be the case of you have to just pay the price of playing the game and market order in there. Okay, but I'm up for if we can come down here. Okay, lower the better, because this lower level is going to be your invalidation on ETH. Okay, if we come down there and the ratios start to build and you get some absolute mega ratios, that's going to be the trade on ETH, because it lines up with TA, it lines up with the order flow, depth of books coming in, drop the open interest. I don't really want to look at volume on ETH, to be honest, but we can do. And then what you want is, drop that open interest. No edging volume really. It just looks like it's following price up, doesn't it? It just looks like it's following price. But that is ETH. Okay. See what we get from that. I mean, it might be the case. It might be the case that we just hold around here, and you don't get that big flush. You don't get. I mean, I would love to just take at the very least these Monday lows under 2657. That'd be really, really good. So I'm happy to wait. Tighten stops up if you're having a day trade scalp short, and go from there. BTC, obviously. BTC just under the daily open here. We've got weekly open 105.734. I'm not sure if we can get there, to be honest. That might be a bit of a big ask, and it would look like a bit of a bar pattern. Perps market a bidding around the 106 level, right? So let's bear that in mind. Perps market a bidding around the 106. Where is that? Let's have a look at the big boy. I'm going to go to a 1 hour here, actually. Right, reset. Let's have a look. Where is that 106? Okay, so you're just becoming. Do I have to pull a fib? I don't really want to pull a fib. Okay, so look, classic TA for the nerds like me. Weekly VWAP 108. That's extended right up just because of this price push, yeah? Weekly open 105.734. So you'd be somewhere in here near that 1 hour EMA. I'm going to pull a fib, and the TRDR OGs work like this. But from that V shape, where are we coming up there then? Yeah, I mean, it would give you a golden ball bag pocket pullback, wouldn't it? Right into here. You could even set an alert on that. Which I won't do now. With you guys. But yeah, any nice pullbacks, nice and constructive, nice and easy to trade. So near that 106 level, I would say, on BTC. While we're in here, what time is it? I just want to check stock market. Bit neutral. Let's have a look. Tesla looks like it wants to start a fresh trend, uponly.com, after the man babies were arguing last week. Nvidia, uponly.com. S&P E-mini futures just struggling a little bit on a second test of this major trend line here, so keep an eye on that. Dixie having a little bit of a range. I'd like it down here. I'd like Dixie a little bit lower, to be honest, near that 96 level. That would be good. That would give us a little bit more risk on into the end of year, I do believe. But anyway, right, so let's jump back into the trader console. Right, so that's what I want. Do we get it? I don't know. But I'd like BTC near the 106. I'd like ETH a little bit lower. I think at the very least, I'd like ETH under these Monday lows, somewhere near that 1630 level, okay? And that is where we've got a perps defense as well. Big orders like this are quite rare. If you see big orders like this and big order blocks, okay, this kind of liquidity in the market, on ETH, Sol, any of the bigger assets, it can be quite rare, so just bear that in mind. It's good to see it. Right, but let's have a look at some other stuff then. Let me just jump in the chat. Number of trades so far as I know. Right, okay, yeah, that makes sense on the LS ratio. Max has been to the docks because Max is smart, and that's what we should all be doing. If ever you've got a question, jump in the docs first. The lads have spent like a massive amount of time in there, and they've done a brilliant job on it. Really, really good job on that. So, represents a proportion of net long, net short accounts relative to number totally. Yeah. I mean, that info's on Binance as well, I believe. So, yeah, you can check it on there, just on the Binance website. Right, let's have a look at a couple of other bits. If ETH's finding a tiny bit of bid here, isn't it? You can just see it's finding a tiny bit of bid. We know what BTC's doing. We know what BTC is doing. So BTC is a little bit flat, stuck under the daily open. No spot bid. Perps bid is 2.5 to 5% away. So nothing I want to do right here, right now. Do have a tiny bit of short position on ETH. Sol is probably going to follow ETH and BTC. Unfortunately, Sol is not particularly doing its own thing at the minute. And you can just see from the spot market here, price action is just following BTC. Perps market actually a little bit dead on Sol. It's probably still doing good volume, but what I mean by that is it's just not giving as much edge. If you just remember what ETH looked like a second ago, it looked really, really good, didn't it? Okay, so Sol, yeah, I'd rather leave it alone. ENA is a brilliant one. I think I've been shilling this on the last couple of live sessions. ENA has really, really good order books. Very much uponly.com. You get a lot of alerts on it. You do get a lot of alerts on it, but it's a really, really good order book. ETC that Max mentioned, I think that was the first long end of last week, just a day. Oh no, was it that one? Yeah, it was this one, wasn't it, that we said about? Didn't not much out of that, and then you didn't get much. But this second hit of demand was really, really good. You could have, so that could have been 2 trades. You could have traded that. You don't get too much from it. I say you don't get too much. It's probably like 4 or 5% or something, which can be huge depending on what kind of volume you do. You know, you come out of that the weekend, you come back down into this Monday morning, okay, and again, spot market with a 90 ratio and these big order blocks, fire and forget trade, and you've got a really, really good percentage out of ETC there. Really, really, really good. Look at a couple of other bits then. Drop in the chat if you need me to look at anything. Sue still has good order books, even if you are scalping. Look at that Fauci alert on Sue. For me, that's a scalp trade. Absolute scalp trade down. Scalping for me is like, you should be in the trade like 5, 10, 15 minutes or something. Any longer than that, it's pretty much a day trade, I would say. The thing about Max says, the thing about ETC is that the price was still far away from the tail. Would have been 2.5 to 3% stop loss. Would it? Let's have a look at that. I thought it looked a little bit clear. I didn't take it this time, I have to say, and it was the better trade. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, 2.5, 3-ish maybe. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, maybe with that being the European session, say if this is on a weekend, and I still think that's a very valid trade. But what you could say to yourself is, you could say to yourself, okay, I'm only going to deploy a certain amount of capital here. I'm not going to go full deployment capital. You might just want to reduce that capital right down and leave room. And at the end of the day, if it gets a pump like this, there's no way you should be disappointed. Why? Because it's ETC, for fuck's sake, you know what I mean? It's still a winning trade, yeah? It's still a winning trade. You're on the right side of the market. You've done the right thing. But yeah, you're dead right. So maybe it could have come down a little bit lower. Maybe you deploy a little bit there. You leave a little bit of room. It doesn't fill, but so what? You're on the right side of the trade. CRV, yeah, CRV and Aave started moving last week, and then Aave, did you see Aave's order books yesterday? And I thought there was something going on in the DeFi space and someone was hedging both positions. And it turns out it wasn't to do with DeFi in general. I think it was to do with DeFi exchanges. I think the Senate and House Committee in the US were talking about DeFi exchanges. And letting them get away with a little bit more. I think even Hyperliquid was mentioned, so nothing really to do with Aave or CRV in particular, but they have been doing well for sure. Let's have a look at CRV as well. Have I got it in here? Yeah, absolute beast. And look at that on CRV. CRV's it moves really well. I don't know if I would have traded that because it looked a little bit light, and you can see that lower order there. It is very valid. It's very valid. What's perps showing us on that? Yeah, not a lot. The perps market on those DeFis is not that good a lot of the time. Yeah, really, really good, isn't it? Really, really good. Let's have a look. TWT, is that what you want me to have a look at? Ooh, yeah. Yeah. It's a good order book, and I don't know why. Why has Trust Wallet got such a good order book? The only trouble is it doesn't get right down to these orders, does it? For some reason. Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason it's never quite coming right down to those order blocks. But yeah, it is a good order book. I guess with anything like this, goes the same way for 90 odd % of altcoins. Does BTC look good and ETH look good? Is it going to rise? Do you want a long TWT? That's it, you know, and that's 90% of other altcoins as well, isn't it? I don't know why you would want to trade TWT, but at the end of the day, if the data's there and the data is suggestive, the risk reward is there on the trade, then yeah, go for it. I mean, look at the volume on it there, 269k. It's fucking absolutely no volume in it whatsoever. A couple of other things then we can have a look at. So yeah, Teo was a beaut. So if you look at obviously ETC, what Max was trying to say is ETC didn't quite get as far down to its levels and eat into that demand zone, whereas Teo was a better risk reward, I thought, on Sunday. So this was Sunday, 10:30 a.m. I think I started to put a limit order down here. And the thing with a coin like this is it does quite good volume. And at this time of day on Sunday, I was still unsure of what BTC was going to do. Okay, I was unsure about BTC. I was like, I don't know what BTC is going to do, but this has got a double wall. Okay, so even if you went at a light percentage and put your stops under that second wall there, this for me was still a fire and forget trade. Why? You're in a massive demand zone, and look at the way your open interest gets absolutely nuked. Okay, why is it good when the open interest is low? It's easier to float price back up. Okay, it's easier to float price back up on less volume when the open interest is nuked like that. So yeah, nice volume on it. Not bad volume for an altcoin. And yeah, yesterday mentioned to the guys, yeah, I'm holding on to it a little bit. This was last night at my bedtime ish, just around there. Said, yeah, I'm going to hold on. Bids following up, and I'll be honest, I've TP'd this one today because it's a derivatives perps trade. Not too fussed for holding these trades much longer than 48 hours. It depends what's going on. You know, it depends what's going on. But if I think BTC and ETH might take a few percent downturn today, I might get a relong. You know, I might get a relong on Teo around here. Look at that, 418. Someone coming in there already at 418. So yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Just relong it. You know, I'm not gonna exit along and then say I think it's going down, so I'm going to short the market. Okay, but I'm happy to chill and wait and see if it comes down. That'd be nice. Right, let's have a look at a couple of other bits. My template doesn't show TLs. What on TWT, Sin? Do you mean TWT? Yeah, it might not do. It might do if they're. It might not do if they're really, really low. It just depends on the settings. Right, let's have a look what's going on. So BTC bouncing about, ETH's bouncing about. Not much to see in this first half hour or so. What's Pepe doing? Pepe is up only, up often. You don't even need a chart for Pepe, it's just going up to infinity. Fartcoin has been, look, this chart is really, really messy, right? But you've had good depth of book, and as I said on Fartcoin, what you want to do is just get your top levels open, to be honest. You'd have to adjust that, so I won't look at it in too much detail now. But really, really well bid yesterday. Low open interest, good depth of book. Yeah, so again, Fartcoin doing more volume than 90% of other altcoins. Really good depth of book, nuked open interest, perps market absolutely bid, uponly.com. Let's see it down a little bit now. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think we've got much spot exchange data for Fartcoin, to be honest. Let's see. Hot air rises, yeah, always. A Fartcoin's going to be so funny if it just keeps going up. You know, you've got to love it, haven't you? I get the whole SPX 6000 or whatever it's going to, you know, called, but it's funnier if Fartcoin just keeps going, because it just is, isn't it? It's miles better. If things like Fartcoin and Pepe, which for me are true memes, right? They are true memes. I think they're going to probably do better than most other stuff, to be honest. I'm always tempted to long Fartcoin on psychological numbers. Yeah, yeah. It's got a good chart on it. The chart's not bad. Look at this chart. Let's have a look at it. It has got a good chart. I'm going to go to a 4 hour. Yeah, so, I mean, look, absolute mega send trend. I don't know, but it does respect these levels. I mean, look at the weekly open there at 103. I know we're only like 10 days into the monthly open, but when you get these clusters down here, okay, so you kind of like, you're hitting these good demand zones, you know, deviation down. It then sits here all weekend for like 16 hours or something. You know, weekly open holds. You know that BTC's bid. You know that Sol's rising slightly. Why wouldn't you? If you're awake and you can execute in there, like the weekly open, monthly VWAP, monthly open, in and around there, you can execute in there. Yeah, definitely. And then, you know, I'd be watching the daily open 122 because it technically plays really, really well, Fartcoin. When you get to those zones, just have a look at those big orders in the perps market, because as I say, that chart, the chart is a little bit messy. It is a little bit messy. Look at it. You know, it's bullish as fuck, to be honest. But what I would do on Fartcoin is get familiar with what kind of volume holds price. Yeah, so like 3.5. So 3 to 3.5 million. Drop some depth. Yep, get some good volume. Drop the open interest, as you see here. Yeah, so like 3 to 3.5 million depth. Low open interest. Maybe have a look at volume. Maybe we get some nice volume divs or something in there. Let's have a look at that. Probably not, to be honest. Not much really. I mean, it's kind of following price, isn't it? But yeah, just stuff like that, and then get a top levels chart open. You know, and away you go. Nice trading. AVAX suddenly started moving again. A couple of AVAX alerts in there. I don't know if AVAX is going to have a little bit of a run. I thought it was going to have a run the other week when we longed it the other week, and it kind of did nothing. But I guess the rest of the market was having a little bit of a turn, wasn't it, and not doing too much. Let's have a look. Maker. Again, whatever you think of Maker, the chart is absolutely brilliant. We've had a few longs on Maker, just derivatives trades, and it's absolutely phenomenal. That could be a long there. Okay, your risk reward under the order blocks here. And even if this is a TP for you, you know, if you're getting 23% in 24 hours, you should be very, very happy. Lizard Coin, Illuminati, Lizard Coin XRP is stable, nothing to see there. Comp, I've just shown you the perps chart, tends to be really, really good on comp. I think I started looking at comp because DK of Trader Console TRDR.io made me look at this a while ago, actually, and he was right. I think ages and ages ago he said comp, a little bit like TRB, now and again you'll get an anomaly in the order books. I call that an anomaly in the order books, and it just absolutely sends. And what I mean by an anomaly is if you see the big order block here and that flash of orange overlay, I don't actually have it on my alerts, I should do. This is a bit of an anomaly in the order book if you compare it to how the price action was over the previous 48 hours, isn't it? Okay, so if you see that, okay, on some of these coins, yeah, the risk reward's too good. You've just got to get in and not worry about it. You know, it's really, really good. Other coins, let's have a look through a couple of others. I did delete a load out of this watch list, actually, because they're just a bag of bollocks. Let's have a look. Doge, why have I not got Doge up there? Let's have a look. Where's Doge? Yeah, I mean, Doge has been getting some bid. It has been getting some bid. It's just the order books are a little bit crap again. I think everybody's trading Fartcoin, aren't they? I think spot people will just buy and hold Doge, but for derivatives traders, I don't think it's doing. I mean, Pepe's doing ridiculous volume still compared to Doge. So if you're going to pick one to trade, I would trade the asset that moves with better volume, and that would be Pepe and your Fartcoin and stuff like that. Always trade with the larger volume assets. Two reasons. One, some of these low liquidity, low volume altcoins will just wick all over the place. Disgusting to trade. Two, you might get in one of those low liquidity, low volume altcoins, and then they do the absolute opposite. They just don't move. Yeah. So you sat in a trade and it's not moving. Whereas Fartcoin, Pepe, BTC, ETH are all pulling 10, 15%, you know, and they just don't move. Typical example, OM, stuff like OM. Nukes with the rest of the market, bounces up sideways for 48, 72 hours or something. Absolutely disgusting chart. And I know at some time this asset will pop. It's actually why I've got it in my watch list. But, you know, 99% of my time, I can look at this once a day and just forget about it. Similar with other stuff, you know, it's just not moving very well, is it? STX got some sell pressure there, not too fussed for shorting stuff like this. Really, I don't know what that was. It looks like that entity filled as well, actually. But yeah, interesting. TRB. TRB is another one, very volatile, low liquidity coin. Had its move the other week, and I would just leave this alone now. Again, I keep it in the watch list. I've got some alerts on it. That was quite a nice one, actually, for the short side or sell. But again, you know, you've got so many opportunities in the market that you don't have to just watch these assets all the time. You can look at once a day and say, no, I don't want to trade that, you know. And then now and again, once a week, one of the altcoins will pop up with an absolute anomaly in the order books, and it'll scream at you, this is a good trade. All right, guys. So what we're doing, what's BTC doing? Let's go back to BTC. Yeah, drop in the chat then if you've got any alts I need to look at. I can jump in them if we've got them on the console, or I can jump in trading view, whatever you're partial to. But let's just watch BTC for a bit, and then I'll jump in the chat and see what is going on. Simply pay, guys, to show that coin. Is that OI on your template RSI or just OI? It's RSI, and yeah, it is our RSI. Yeah, I can reshare this if you want. I can reshare it in the chat. Yeah, because I kind of know by looking at Liquidity King template, which I look at on a higher time frame, 4 hour and stuff. I kind of know what kind of open interest BTC goes to when it's running hot. And I know what open interest comes down to when it's cooling down, you know, after it's nuked or whatever. So just for my 15-minute and 5-minute basis, I love looking at the RSI, and I keep it the same, obviously, for altcoins and, you know, everything else. It's just, you know, it's an RSI on a open interest on an RSI. Yeah, I do like it, you know, fall to demand, open interest low with a bit of depth. You know, run up into the top levels and potentially some supply, open interest high in the RSI. Let me share this for you now, just in case you haven't got it. Share with us. I think I naughtily overwrote this, my main template that I've had, not changed in years, to be honest. There you go. Just open that and save it as your own. Yeah, quite liking it. I do quite like it, to be honest. And then another template I did work on, which was obviously I've not really shared at the minute, was just the main, I was just looking to see how I'd get on with this main top levels with the CVDs with a faster reaction, because I know you lot love to take the piss out of me that my look back on my CVD Volume King is at 70. It's the old man look back, the slow old man look back of CVDs, isn't it? But, so I created another one, another template just with the top levels, because I'm looking at ratios all day long anyway, and I can just see when the CVDs are coming down. I've got an LS ratio at the top here, real faint, because it's not all important there, and then open interest in here as well. I don't think I've shared this one yet, because I don't know if I'm too happy, and I don't really use it too much, to be honest. Right, yeah, drop in the chat then if you need me to look at any other coins. Let's go and have a look at the screener. So first of all, on the screener, as I open it, you're just looking at my watch list here, all assets, or I've got my Gucci bags there. Okay, so we're just looking at my assets that I've got bookmarked on my main big watch list, and I've noticed over the last 12 hours there's a few usual suspects in here, like there always is. Interestingly, DYDX is really big. Okay, so I had a look at DYDX this morning, and I was thinking, DeFi regulations getting a bit softened. Do we want to have a little punt on that? And then I thought, Oh, fucking should have done. Max will know. I posted it earlier when it was down. I should have done. Isn't that always the case? And then I thought, the high time frame chart, the daily and 4 hour chart, is shocking. It's just down only. Slight range on it now. I just thought to myself, do I really want, who is anyone using DYDX now that we've got Hyperliquid? So, it's been really, really bidding here. Maybe I'm wrong, and this was the trade, and it's gonna, they may be doing some good stuff, and it's up only, and spot is quite bid as well. Messy chart, but yeah, we'll see. It's just interesting, and that is how you should be using the screener. Yeah, so on the perp side here, OBD ratio, DYDX was just at the top this morning. I was like, ooh, that's rare. Yeah, that's how it should be. It's popped in at the top. That's rare. Let's have a look. Turns out, should have taken the trade. Is anyone... Liquidity King perps falling during that move up yesterday is interesting. Yeah, it's squeezing out the shorts. Squeezing out the shorts. You can get that. We had that at the beginning of the run-up a month or 2 months ago, whenever that beginning of the run-up, we had that. Yeah, so it's not indicative of... Historically, it is why it's bullish when that liquidity comes down is because it's knocking all the contracts out the book. So that can be shorts and longs, obviously. And what we tend to find is in the market is it's then very easy when there's the contracts in the order books have been reduced, perpetuals obviously. It's very then easy to move price up with less volume. It actually takes more volume to nuke price. There'll be some statistic on there or something, so you might have to fact check me on that. But yeah, it can work that you squeeze up, right, and then you knock a load of short contracts because there's a load of shorts on. If you noticed over the weekend, funding was flashing negative quite a few times. Yeah, so a lot of people were aggressively shorting over the weekend. I was up for shorting a bit higher, and then as the weekend went on, I thought, fuck that. No, I'm pulling my offers. I had offers just under 27. I just pulled them. I thought, we're not there. I'm not at my desk. I'll just sleep on it, and we'll see what we get. So yeah, interesting. Generally, again, some of the usual suspects in here. I can go and have a look at all assets in the system there, and see if there's anything of interest in here. When you look at all assets, obviously, what you want to do is maybe just filter in here. So you're looking at USDT. If you knock that off, what you'll get is you'll get all your BTC pairs as well. Okay, FDUSD, BTC, you'll get all stuff like that as well. So it's sometimes worth putting in USD at the very least. Okay, because then you'll get the other exchanges in here that use USD and USDT. But for me, I would just go USDT. Reason being, Binance, the best order books we've got, aren't they? Okay. So yeah, looking at all assets, yeah, a lot of Bybit, perps action going on. Mask, I think Sin or Max shielded this earlier on. Ooh, I mean, do we really want to trade this? Do we really want to? I think this is plunge protection. I do have to say, look, you might get a bounce off this. You might get a good bounce off this. It looks like plunge protection. To be honest, I don't even. What happened there? When was that? What date was that? 6th of June. That was last week. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's madness, isn't it? I don't know what's going on with this project. It's like no one's trading it, and then when market makers or the exchange decide to do something, it's just absolutely all over the place, isn't it? Bag of bollocks coin. There was some good trades to be had off it last year or beginning of the year, but yeah, not much going on. Polis, I think that's Polis, a Q coin. Yeah, back in the day when we were buying Polis and Atlas, Star Atlas. Yeah, you could only get it on Qcoin, actually. That project's still in the works. Atlas, Star Atlas, I think. But yeah, not much to see there. Let's have a look what's going on in the spot market then. Jitter, T-Fuel. No, not this. Comp is still getting bid up. I wouldn't be chasing that, though. Unless you're an absolute D-gem. Teo getting some bid back in the market because... Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to concentrate on it. I'm concentrating on the big boy coins, to be honest. Any of the big contenders up here? ZRO, I know some of you guys follow ZRO. Phil does tend to have quite good order books. I'd rather see it back down a little bit. So let's just watch BTC for a little bit. I want to see it. I want to see if it's going to come down or not. Let's have a look. What's Perps Market doing? Perps Market just waiting a little bit lower, aren't they? Same with CoinM. Let's see. Bit of choppiness here, and we'll see what we get over the coming hours. Mask looks so broken. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, do you really? And it's another one. It could pop, right? It could pop, but it looks shit. It looks like they're just trying to protect the price from going to zero. And you know, it's another one where, do you really want to long that and sit in it for hours on end, right? Or do you want to chill? And long some ETH or some Sol or some TER or, you know, ENA that do better volume, and you might have 2 trades on them in the next 8 hours and get, you know, maybe 2, 3, 4% each, while Mask is not doing anything. That's the way I see a lot of alts like that. You know, and then you'll get the rare occasion where they absolutely mega pop, obviously, and you get 20, 25%, which is great, but yeah, just to sit in those trades, yeah, it's not for me, to be honest. Not for me. Yeah, not much going on here, is there? Not much going on. Let me just quickly check what stock market's doing. I just want to keep an eye on Tesla. I think they possibly just gapped up a tiny percent today. I mean, yeah, everything is looking strong. It'd be nice. It would be nice if we can finish into the summer with one more push up. I think that would be very, very good. I am up for that. And then July is maybe a little bit of a nothing event. You know, I think that would be quite good to see on most assets. Right, yeah, jump in the chat then if you've got any console questions or anything I need to share. Give me a shout if there's any alerts you need or anything. Maker just hitting some more supply, double band, almost triple band supply on Maker here, so very good long. If I was long from down there or anywhere else, I would certainly be starting to take a little bit of profit here and just tighten up that risk. Not many other alerts kicking off. Few liquidations on BTC, as we can see there. ETH, we know about ETH. ETH was hitting some group spot. We know about Sue. Sue was hitting some spot market selling there. So again, nice scalpy day trades down. So look at ETH, what you're doing. Come on, ETH. Yeah, a couple of offers just chasing ETH down. So I'd like to see it a little bit lower. And as I say, I've got a tiny bit of short in here on ETH. And it's just one of those Monday, Tuesday plays, really. I'm kind of still bullish overall, thinking we will rise up. But yeah, just scalpy day trades, keep the juices flowing. Let's see what we get. So yeah, drop in the chat if there's any questions, console related or whatever. Jump in the links below. I've updated the Discord link, actually. I think that was out of date. Don't forget to jump in the Academy pages and the docs pages as well. And shall we have a little bit of a BTC summary, and I'll let everyone get on with their day. Okay, so order book depth is not bad. It's come off a little bit. We had a really, really good push up yesterday. Okay, spot market, not too interested in here. Okay, slightly negative ratios, negative 43, 1 to 2.5% away. Okay, and that's coming from Coinbase, Binance, and a couple of others. Gemini, Twins are doing a little bit of selling there as well. Let's have a look at them. Yeah, they're doing a little bit of selling there as well. So I'm in favor of a little bit of downside. Okay, bring the open interest down. Have another little reset. Maybe you just take out that low there, okay, at the 106. We know there's a bit of a classic T8 level there as well on BTC. Let's just go and revisit that very, very quickly. Let's go and revisit that on a 1 hour basis. Generally, I only use 4 hour and daily charts, but when I'm looking for entries and stuff, yeah, so this is nice to see. So let's come down. So look, your 106, did I pull some fibs? I pulled some fibs earlier, didn't I? Go and scroll back. Is just coming in, you know, a classic TA pullback to some, you know, your golden pocket on your fibs. 1 hour EMA there. Any lower, I would see that as value. Do we absolutely back down back to this value area here of this range? Not too sure, but we'll see. So 106 region for BTC, I think would be very, very good, because we do have confluence in the perps order book as well. ETH, okay, because I'm mainly concentrating on some of the bigger assets. ETH is holding stronger than BTC here, but that has been the case for a while, hasn't it? Okay, but ETH, I would love it if you can get down here to this weekly VWAP. Okay, so that's 2649, but if we can get to this 2-3 level, okay, which is old resistance, 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 to potential support flip, and that's going to be really, really good. Okay, show you that in the order flow as well. Let's have a look. Okay, so BTC coming down into that 106 region, if we can get it. Okay, we don't always get what we want, so that would bring us down right to these levels on perps. Okay, personally, I'm not sticking any resting limit orders in here at the minute. I want to see the reaction if we go there. ETH, similar thing. Okay, you've hit some big spot supply. It's holding a little bit better, but if you look at the perps market here, okay, where we were coming in, big perps defense there at that 259 to 26 level, so that could be very, very good. Not sure if we get down there on ETH. It could just be a case of grinding this zone out and then carry on. But yeah, we'll see what we get. We'll see what we get. Right, so if you've forgotten any questions, go find us in the Discord or the Telegram. I think we're in for a good trading week again. But get your levels marked and don't push too many buttons. Yesterday was a really, really good day of trading. Okay, if you caught anything over the last 24 hours and you've taken a little bit of profit, that's fine. Don't suddenly start jumping in and pressing more buttons here. Plan, wait for that aggressive bid to come in. Okay, just plan your trades out. Be picky if you're trading altcoins as well. Don't trade 99% of this shit that is doing low volume. Pick the alts that are doing good volume. Okay, that are doing good volume, and if it doesn't look like that, don't trade it. Yeah, you know what I mean, don't you? All right, guys, look, have a good day. Go and find us in the socials. If you've got any more questions, we'll speak soon. Cheers, guys.